Welcome to Perth City Talks. I'm Nadia Hunter, and today we're here for the Western Australian Consumer Protection Awards with a very special tribute to Rona Oakley.
Welcome to all of you on the 12th Western Australian Consumer Protection Awards. Today is World Consumer Rights Day, an event first celebrated around the world in 1983. It has become an important annual occasion for recognising milestones achieved in the protection of consumer rights. Our awards give us the opportunity to recognise both our local and consumer champions and also important milestones in Western Australia's consumer rights field. And there are a number of achievements that are worth noting. One of them is the inclusion of KidSafe WA category in these awards, which has led to a closer working relationship between the Consumer Protection Division of the Department of Commerce and KidSafe Western Australia. This relationship has resulted in the establishment of the Consumer Product Advisory Network, which enables swift action to be taken on safety issues associated with things such as button batteries, polymer beads and the risks posed by children's crayons. Another milestone is the coordinated effort by consumer agencies across Australia to stop property spruikers duping investors with unfair rent-to-buy schemes and so-called free investment seminars. At least 10 property groups around the country face legal action for making unsubstantiated and misleading claims about their property investment schemes. New laws have been passed which will help associations and clubs in Western Australia operate more efficiently, and these should come into effect on the 1st of July this year. Ladies and gentlemen, these are great awards. They allow those who are interested and committed and passionate about consumer protection to recognise their own in an environment which is supportive and allows also the opportunity for some networking. It is great to be able to be here and to help support this event. I'm pleased that the Department of Commerce is involved so closely with it and that provides recognition that is often too overdue for those who have worked hard in those particular areas. And the several categories of awards canvass the field of consumer protection. I'm delighted to be here again to be able to support this event. And I hope that you will join with me in due course in congratulating those who have achieved recognition among their peers.
And of course this year tinged with sadness because we have lost one of our family members of this event.
Something really memorable about Rona is that she presents as this very genteel, softly spoken lady. And the only thing that I guess shows the true Rona is this mischievous smile and this glint in the eye. It seems from an early age that Rona stood up for the little person, the person who was unfairly treated.
Constant approaches to government departments, bombarding them and getting the services in there because we were aware that the royalties were being paid for education and we were aware they were not being spent in the Pilbara.
Rona used to regale us with stories of where she'd come from, her past, but she would also hook those back to the presentations that were being made to the various nominations that had come through in the CP Awards. And you could see from her life history where she had come from a fairly poor background. She had come from an area where she would assist the community and the community needs were always being put to the forefront. And it was amazing the way in which those, I guess, endeavours that she'd had over the many years were reflected in the people who've been nominated through for the Rona Oakley Award.
Rona's speech, it's often the thing that most people remembered in any given year. They would, and regular attendees would anticipate what she was going to say in her yearly speech.
People are beavering away every day to try and help those who find that this world which we live in, that this sophisticated, crazy world we live in, to help them have an even playing field and help them cope with the difficulties.
The thing that sticks out for me about Rona more recently is a greater appreciation of the loving partnership with her husband Ron. I think in many ways that Ron and Rona have enabled each other through their life and enabled each other to excel and commit and grow, but always as a partnership, and each has enabled the other to make a special contribution to the community.
I came to think of Rona as a surrogate grandmother. It was so lovely spending time with her. I'll especially remember the time she was asking me about my weekend, and I mentioned I'd been to a Kiss concert, and then I said, do you know who Kiss is? And she said, do I know who Kiss is? I've met them.
Rona gave me a platform into which I came and have spent the last 30 years working in the community sector. For the centre itself, Rona definitely was the driving force behind establishing the centre. Many of the aspects of the centre today I can easily attribute to Rona.
My memory of Rona is always wanting to acknowledge the history of the centre and the important people in the function of the centre in the past and currently.
Different things going on at the centre, she would come and discuss these issues and find out what she could do about some of them, So, yes, for me too, Rona has been a mentor and a leader.
She wasn't a qualified lawyer, and those who my colleagues were. She wasn't young, and we were still very young. She used wisdom sometimes where we were a little bit fixated perhaps on intellect. And I think slowly but surely we found ourselves learning a lot from her.
The Consumer Protection Awards are named after Rona because clearly Rona had a passion for equity and fairness. But there was also a lovely element of Rona that was unassuming. It didn't seek the limelight. It's about doing things with determination, but doing so not for the reward, but for making a difference.
I guess a bit of an emotional time for us all to know that Rona's not going to be able to be with us for these awards any future. And it's certainly been an honour for me to have been part of Rona's life and for her to have been part of our lives and to have been a significant part of these particular awards. And that tribute to Rona and her history and the way in which she delivered so many things to so many people has really been very special for us. So from our perspective, Rona was part of the consumer protection family, if you like, from the mid to late 80s when she was part of the commercial tribunal in the first place, which has since gone on to be the State Administrative Tribunal. And she was then recruited onto various boards and committees, and in particular for us, part of the Painters Registration Board and the Motor Vehicle Dealers Licensing Board. And a number of people who crossed paths with Rona have, I guess, been enriched by the way in which she approached life and metering out the administration of the laws which she was entrusted with. And she was recognised by all walks of life and certainly all sides of politics. And She drew from the community a lot of those issues that she needed to then administer through the laws that she was looking after.
No easy way. No easy way. There's no easy way to say this. The doctor looks up from his notes. Inoperable, untreatable, sooner rather than later. I watch her face. I think she knew. We'd walked the walk, we'd talked the talk. Could it be at home? The hospice nurse says, well, that's what we're about. So I learn to rub cream on her back, her thinning legs, her bed-worn heels. She calls for her grandchildren, one by one. When I am gone, you will cry a little, but not for long. I have loved my life. You must love yours too. Her voice becomes a hoarse whisper, then steady, rhythmic breathing. She beckons me. The last words that I hear, I love you. The breathing ceases. She dies as bravely as she has lived. Thank you for the opportunity.
Pleased to announce that the winner of the Dick Fletcher Award this year is Jacaranda Community Centre Incorporated.
It's a great privilege and honour to receive this award. Jacaranda will have been going 16 years on the 20th of this month, starting up without any funding to becoming known to all the community has been really, really great. And the amount of people that we've been able to assist and help during that period of time.
Lindsay, thank you for joining us and congratulations on winning your award.
Thank you very much. It's a really exciting day, I think, for Jacaranda, and especially a large percentage of my committee are Aboriginal, so it's really special for them.
Tell me, how hard have you and your team worked to enable winning this award today?
Jacaranda's worked really hard. We started up from scratch for nothing 16 years ago. Every day new people come in and new issues come in, and as well as seeing clients, which I still see clients as well as run the organisation, we've managed to get an Aboriginal worker through her financial counselling diploma to be accredited. So the only accredited Aboriginal financial counsellor in the metro area, which has been fantastic. Unfortunately, due to changes with the state government, Jacaranda lost its financial counselling funding under consortium. So we're still keeping going at the moment on obviously bits and pieces. Jacaranda is a donation gift recipient, so if anyone wants to donate to Jacaranda on our website, if the government is out there, knows what we do, come and talk to me because I want to keep our staff and I want to be able to help as many people out in the community as I possibly can.
Pleased to be able to announce that the winner of the KidSafe WA Award for 2016 is ATCO Gas Australia Schools Program.
On behalf of ATCO Gas Australia, it's a great pleasure to accept the highly regarded KidSafe WA Award as part of the 2016 Department of Commerce Consumer Protection Awards. Now in its third year, our schools program is the foundation of our natural gas safety and awareness activities, and we deliver age-appropriate safety messages in a fun and interactive way. At the heart of all of our programs is a desire to increase community understanding and awareness of natural gas, to identify gas safety hazards and as well improve the household safety. So ATCO Gas Australia plays a very large part in educating the community and the public about the awareness around natural gas safety, and our schools program is a strong commitment to maintaining that awareness and education for future gas users and school-aged children.
And you also incorporated a little bit of cooking in there, which obviously makes it more fun for the kids.
Absolutely. Food is a wonderful way of educating students about the joys of cooking and the joys of cooking with natural gas. We also teach them how to use utensils and knives, and they get to put those skills to work, cooking some lunch for each other and having a great time.
It is really the media who pass those stories on and who assist us to get the message out, so that if not people who are involved in those scams, at least their friends and relatives are hearing the stories. And I think what we have achieved collectively is to recognise that it doesn't happen just to people who are perhaps helpless and unable to stand up for themselves. It really is a risk to all of us, and we've normalised this issue and got everyone to recognise it. So congratulations, a perfect cameo of what today is about. I really also wanted to acknowledge Annabelle Hennessy's amazing achievement. Again, Consumer Protection had for some years been telling the story about property spruikers and how they were really a bit dodgy, etc. But when someone spends hours and hours of their own personal time attending what are tedious, manipulative, long-running events over weekends, to really look behind the scenes and understand the psychology of what's going on, and then again portray it in such a way that's telling the individual stories of some of the people that are attending. It's things like that that get the message out. And congratulations to Annabelle, but in every case, again, whether it's the community support network who's seeing the signs, recognising the issues and bringing it to our attention, or alternatively, the different ways in which the media portray the story. It really is compelling, and I think sets us up for the future in terms of being able to get our messages out.
The winner of the Ruby Hutchison Award for 2016 is Annabelle Hennessy. Congratulations.
I'm going to keep this short because whenever I give speeches it becomes very, very obvious why I work in print and not TV or radio. But I'd just like to say thanks so much to Consumer Protection. I work with a lot of different government departments in my role, and whenever I have any dealings with Consumer Protection, they always go above and beyond to help, and it's just very evident that the culture of the department is really not about necessarily always wanting to make themselves look amazing, but they want to really help.
Thanks for joining us, and congratulations. A lot of hard work went into this story.
Thank you. It was a bit unexpected. I kind of wish I had prepared a bit of a speech, but there we go. The main story I was looking at was in relation to property-related scams, and the thing about property scams is that it's such a big investment. If you get caught up in one, there's your retirement savings gone. And as part of my investigation, I spoke to a lot of people who'd been burnt by property spruikers, and it really put them in a bad place. I mean, they'd lose their life savings. It would screw them up in terms of retirement, and in some cases people can become suicidal.
You said that the Department of Commerce and Consumer Protection were very helpful.
They were really helpful. I work with a few different government departments in my role, and the thing I find about the Department of Consumer Protection is they always go above and beyond to help, and there seems to be a culture of they're not necessarily helping because they want to themselves in the headline, they want to show off about what they're doing. It was really, you get a real sense that they want to get these messages out there because they know what the consequences of some of these scams and schemes can be, and they want to warn consumers, which I think is really great. We all hear about some of the dodgy things that goes on in terms of property scheming and scamming, but I was quite shocked at some of the levels of the techniques, especially the sales techniques used by property spruikers. At some of the seminars I went to, they were really doing bizarre things, like you had to put your hand through a block of wood, and that was meant to be a metaphor for achieving financial freedom. It was you'd spend 2 days in these seminars, and they'd be getting you to do all these chants and sort of strange activities, and at the end of them they'd try and sign you up for these $1,000 property courses. So it was really bizarre, and I was really surprised by some of the stuff that goes on.
Thank you for joining us. How do you think the awards ceremony went today?
I think it went wonderfully. This is a great opportunity for the consumer protection community in Western Australia to recognise their own and to inspire others to also look out for consumer rights. The awards recognise a variety of contributions from community groups and even companies that are looking at improving the lot of Western Australians, and there's also an award for a media story or series of stories that will assist in promoting human sort of consumer rights in Western Australia.
With so many dedicated consumer advocates working in our community, it's certain that Rona Oakley's work will live on. I'm Nadia Hunter. See you next time.